What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Investing Bros. We are so excited to be back with you this morning. Guys, it's a little bit of a crazy morning. I literally posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, this morning that there was no news. And then literally, it's like as I hit send, 3 minutes later, we start piling in some stories here. We got some interesting updates, guys. First of all, Bitcoin back over 30,000, even as we're speaking right now, making a push up to a very key level that I have on my chart, but I am going to have a special guest doing TA today. You guys know Mim is joining the channel. That is magic internet money for anyone who maybe is not in on our inside joke there, but Mim is going to be breaking down the TA for you guys today, as it is looking very much like a green day. We do have some other breaking news coming out here over the last couple of minutes. ALGO partnering with the Clintons to solve climate change. What does that mean? Also, could we be seeing here over the next couple of days, next 3 days, the SEC and Gary Gensler have to make some pretty big decisions that involve XRP and Bitcoin ETFs? What is going to happen? We're going to break that and a whole lot more down in this video. So go ahead and smash that like button. And if you are new here, subscribe to the channel for everything you need to know to keep you up to date on all of your crypto investments. With that said, though, I am joined by a fantastic co-host this morning, Mr. T. Shroom from down in Gainesville, Florida. T. Shroom, how you doing this morning?
Oh, Tim, I got to be honest with you, man. I'm doing better than I deserve. I really am. And a lot of it has to do with the quote of the day, actually. So let me just go slide right on into that bad boy, which is this: be there for others, but never leave yourself behind. And that's from Dodinsky. So I got to be honest with you. You know, sometimes it's a season of having to help others or getting to help others as the universe lends you the opportunity to care for another one of its offspring.
You know, it's a good quote. I don't know if you know this about me, T-Shroom. Did you know that I'm lifeguard certified, that I was a lifeguard about, let's see, my certifications probably ran up because it was like 10 years ago. But they tell you when you're a lifeguard and you're trying to save someone from drowning, if they start kicking and wailing and try to drown you, you literally are supposed to punch, kick, do whatever you can to get them off of you, because you can't save someone if you drown.
Is that the part why you joined? So you'd be able to legally punch and kick people?
It was a very big portion of it. Yes, I'm going to admit I had some built up frustration from my youth, and I needed to punch some kids,
drowning children.
Please don't clip that and put that out anywhere, everybody. But yeah, no, good quote. And again, I really do believe in helping other people. But here's the thing, guys. Broken people break other people. Healed people help heal other people. So definitely focusing on your own healing, your own development and growth is what enables you. Another way to put it, with a lot of analogies here, I don't agree with the concept of taking your cup and pouring your cup over into other people. I almost live by when your cup overflows and you get close to other people, they get to pick up whatever overflows from your cup. That's how you stay healthy and help other people as well. Kind of got deep there, Investing Bros, we don't usually get that deep this quick. But we're going to go a lot deeper on in this show into the crypto world. So again, guys, we already have 56 people in here. Go ahead and smash that like button, especially here in a couple minutes. We're bringing on Mim. He's going to be doing some amazing TA, going to discuss some of these headlines with us because, again, like I said, after a couple days of kind of boring, nothing really to talk about, we had a couple interesting headlines break this morning that are worth a discussion. Let's go ahead, though, and read some chat here. Now, there is some FUD. There is some FUD in chat. Some people are believing that I'm in here cheating, that I start the stream and then comment first. But that is T. Shroom setting me up for failure. T. Shroom starts the stream
Sorry,
and
guys.
Commented first, trying to frame me as this horrible, horrible person.
I don't know if it was a slow ingestion for the stream or like what was going on, but it took probably like 40 seconds for the first comment to get up there. So I couldn't help myself, guys. It was one of those impulsive decisions, and I regret it, and it'll never happen again. Probably.
Listen, you framed me. Like, I'm the one. I just had to get that out, guys. I did not steal the first comment.
Yeah, Tim, we get it. You're the real victim here and in every situation.
It's true. And in this case, it's almost like I was trying to help you, T-Shroom, and then you started to drown me, and I'm going to have to punch and kick you off of me. so that I can survive the rest of the stream.
Just because I'm bald doesn't mean that I'm an infant, Tim. Okay, doesn't mean that I'm a child. Did I take it too far? It's too much of a stretch. Okay, I'm embarrassed now.
All right. Listen, we're gonna continue on with the stream here. The real first commenter of the day was Mr. Ada Ace saying good morning. Following him was Mr. Amello Fellow, and then CryptoSec guy. Okay, Elo Brown though is here as well. Army Piper is here. A lot of blue wrenches in here early. Eric Wallen is here. Who else do we have? Peter Provost is here. Gia S is here. Mr. J is here. Nancy Croy is here this morning. Ninja Glock, Justin Eubanks, Feather 15 saying, when more T-Shroom dance videos? I'm asking the exact same question.
Goodness gracious.
Feather 15. And to be fair, I don't know if I've ever gotten to read the name Feather 15. So welcome. So glad I got to read your name this morning. Let's see who else is here. Brian D is here. CBD Suddy is here. Mike Play is here. Let me see here. Who else do we have? Brakoshi No Dinero is here. Let's look at 5 more names, and then we're gonna move on. Crypto Trades, and Crypto Trades did say accountability check. Tim, did you work out this morning? I did not. So last night, you guys ever have like what do you what is it called when you like can't go to sleep because like you just have like, so many ideas?
Complacency, lack of discipline.
Is it insomnia? Is it like insomnia?
Yes.
There were so many ideas I had. I mean, T-Shirt and I were texting to like 10:30 about different things we want to do. And then my head kept spinning. So I didn't really fall asleep till midnight. So I didn't wake up this morning, but I am going to lift tonight. To be fair, I did work out Monday and Tuesday morning. So these Monday workouts, these early morning workouts, I'm loving them, but good accountability check there, Crypto Trades. I failed. And I let you guys down. And for those reasons, I'm going to continue on with the show. Yair Navarro, let's see. I think I read his name. Let's get a couple more, and then we're going to move on. Philly Skills 1428. Crypto Ben Franklin, everyone's favorite non-crypto president. Mim is here. Magic Internet Money. And the last one, what a name. 370 SZN saying, what up, bros of crypto? What up to you as well. Guys, we're about to have a great show. By the way, I put out a tweet last night as well, and we got some great response, but I want to hear from you guys in chat. We won't do it this weekend because T-Shroom is out of town. But one of those things that we were talking about last night so late was trying to do more community stuff and more stuff with you guys. What would you guys think about Saturday morning live streams at 11 a.m.? For all of my college football fans out there, one of the things we will do with that Saturday show is to end the show every single Saturday. We will give me and T-Shroom our predictions on all of the big college football games. But it's just going to be another day to connect with you guys, talk crypto, do some TA. There's not a lot of live shows on the weekends, so I do feel like we can even kind of spread out and grow our community. But we also get to do it later in the morning, so especially our California friends cannot have to wake up in the darkness to watch us live. Let us know in chat, in comments right now. Would you guys want to see an 11 a.m. Saturday live show? With that said, let's get into some of these economic outlooks, and then we're going to jump on with Mim and break down some good charts here for you guys here in just a second. Go ahead and go to my screen here, T-Shroom. Nothing necessarily too important this morning. We did get the 30-year mortgage coming in at 709. So if you were thinking you were going to buy a house, it just got more expensive for you. Don't do that. Let's keep moving on. Tomorrow morning is a big day, guys. We've been waiting for this all week. Tomorrow morning, we'll actually get to see these core inflation numbers, inflation rates, both month over month and year over year here in the United States. So that is going to be big. And of course, after we get those numbers later on tomorrow afternoon, we will get to hear from a couple of the Fed chairmen. Could be interesting. Again, the next 3 days, guys, this title is not clickbait. There's going to be some big things coming out over the next 3 days that could really affect Bitcoin's price and XRP's price. We could see big moves in either direction at this point, honestly, but we'll save some of that for charts and future shows. Friday, we will see GDP growth in Great Britain. So all of our friends across the pond, you guys let us know how you're feeling about that. Are you guys feeling good, bullish, bearish? How you feeling about your economy? That's what's coming up later this week. We'll jump more into the rest of the economic outlook next week. Let's go ahead and look at our liquidations. A lot of short liquidations, guys, here on Bitcoin. 6 million long liquidations compared to 30 2.3 million short liquidations here over the last 24 hours. That is the reason why Bitcoin right now is comfortably sitting above 30,000. And we're going to talk about more. Again, I want to hear Mim's chart. I will probably show my chart just a little bit, get his opinion on what I'm seeing on the charts. Ethereum also, a lot of short liquidations, guys. Look at all this red. Ethereum kind of second place, 7.7 million, 6.5 of that being short. Solana with 2.8 million short liquidations, XRP with 2.2. Lots of good shorts happening over here. Let's keep moving on, though. Trueflation did tick up a slight bit once again to 2.33. So, again, is that going to show us anything about our inflation numbers here tomorrow? We are still at this point looking at a pause here in September, and March will be the first time the CME group is predicting that we will get our rate cut. So, kind of staying the same there. Crypto Fear and Greed Index, Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index ticked back down to 50 despite the fact the price was higher. So, at the moment, I'm kind of thinking that the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index tool right here doesn't really know what it wants to do. It's just printing random numbers in the 50 range. We're still in neutral, which keeps us at that spot of, remember I said there could be a big breakout to the upside or downside. Well, 50 is kind of not going to help us out whatsoever. That is the epitome of saying, well, we could go up, could go down from the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index side of that. So don't read too much into that, but it is interesting to see as price went up, the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index went down. I'm going to go have to say that's probably a bullish sign, but we'll have to wait for a couple more days for any confirmation there. Let's take a look at our market open this morning. Let me scroll. Where am I going? Am I going down? Am I going the wrong way? There we go. Wrong way, guys. Here we go. Bitcoin up 1.6% over the last 24 hours. That's a pretty big move. Not the biggest of the top 10, but it is bigger than Ethereum. Number 2, it's bigger than BNB. XRP up 4.3%.
There you go.
Dogecoin up 2%. Cardano up 2%. Solana up almost 6%. Solana continues, guys. Again, I'm not a big Solana fan, but I'm not gonna try to FUD them out and say that they're not making some good runs in price action. In fact, you guys know we're kind of looking around that $26 region for Solana to be another level it could get to before reversal, sitting at 24.83 right now. So maybe even further room to the upside for Solana. Matic as well, up 2.53%. Sheeb up 8%. It continues to have a nice last week here. Let's take a look at our biggest gainers. Aptos is the winner right here at 17%. Pepe up 13. Like I said, Sheeb up 8%. Let's take a look at the biggest losers. Mantle. This is a project that is a little newer here. I think a lot of people are bullish on it, but it is down both in the last 24 hours and the last 7 days. Most of that 7-day redness happened within the last 24 hours. But again, Mantle's a project. Definitely keep your eye on it. Could be an interesting one moving forward. XDC has been on a tear recently, but here over the last week has been in the red. Most of that coming because of today's 6.5% down. Other than that, though, there's not necessarily too much in the red. ALGO's in the red. Maybe that's because people don't like the fresh news coming out with ALGO and the Clintons. Let me know in the comments. We're going to probably discuss this a little bit more in the show, but let me know what your thoughts of ALGO are. I have lots of friends who love ALGO. I know lots of people who hate ALGO. I'm interested to see what you guys think about it. With that said, though, T-Shroom, let's go to BroCam here real quick. We're about to jump into the charts, but today it is not me jumping into charts. It is Magic Internet Money. Let's go ahead and bring him on. How are you doing, Mim?
Oh, I'm always fantastic, man.
Do you have are you watching on YouTube? Or is there?
I have it muted, so it should be good.
Okay.
Let's see. There was a slight echo there for a second.
Okay.
But I think it's gone. I think it's gone. You're good now. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Excellent. How are you doing this morning, my man?
Oh, dude, always fantastic. Enjoying the storms. We've got thunderstorms rolling through early this morning. So
out in Kansas.
Any tornadoes recently that are going to send us to what's the world? Where it is?
Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Yeah. Luckily, no. A couple of years ago, one came within like a few miles of my house, pretty much wiped off an entire city down the road from us. Yeah, all of it gone. So it definitely happens. It was like 1.5 miles wide. So kind of scary, but we watch them out here, and we all have basements. It's fine.
Good. Well, that is good to know. Well, let's jump into this, Mim. What are we seeing? Let's start off with Bitcoin. We might take a look at a couple coins today and dive into some big topics. But what are you seeing on Bitcoin? I know, again, you are kind of someone who we rely on. You have very little emotion when it comes to trading. You just look at the charts. So what are you attached to right now? What are you seeing happen on Bitcoin? Are you bullish right now? Are you bearish? What's the call?
I'm fairly neutral, but I do lean high time frame, not high time, medium time frame pullback still, mainly because
Mhm.
it it kind of came into this window of time I was looking at between July 10th and 23rd for this rally to be overextended. And we've since put in some bearish patterns, and we haven't done anything bullish just yet to get out of that, meaning
Yeah.
that I need to see price action reclaim some levels, and I would get pretty excited. A very basic way to look at this is as like a broadening wedge, so to speak, kind of like this right here on the overall hole. And I'll go to the daily for this. So you'll start to see how you've got your top and your bottom support lines. And the most important level on this is going to be your 50% mark. Anytime you're looking at a basic pattern like this, and that's where you want to start. Like, okay, how simple can I make this? And what can I do with my thesis? You can see you've got two of them here. You've got one large one and then a smaller one inside that large one, which you're forming right here. So the most important mark is going to be the 50% mark, which comes in right here at what I call the B leg. The reason that is because you had a harmonic pattern. We've talked about these before on your show. This was realistically just something that when it played out, it's called a shark pattern. And what you're looking to do is swing fail the lows and then swing fail the highs. And the most important level on that's going to be the 50% mark, which is usually your B leg. So in this case, it just panned out really well. You can see that's the 50.5% for the B leg. So this is the area on the chart that has to hold that like 28 to 28.5 region. That would be target one. What would get me excited for maybe potentially trying to run at least to the top of the range here, somewhere around 31K again, would be taking out the 50% mark of this local one as well, right? So if we were to do that, it would get me excited again, just keeping it as basic as possible. And you can also see that there is a monthly naked point of control sitting right there. So you're at an inflection point on the chart where if price is going to make that bullish push and maybe give it another shot at trying to make a new high on this overall rally, this is the zone that's got to, it's got to be had. You could even get out of all of this and simplify it even more and just say, where would my change of behavior be? And technically your change of behavior is going to be just above this breaker here. And it's at 30,400, give or take.
Come on.
Going through
The exact level. Go real quick, T-Shirt. I was going to ask because I wasn't going to do too much TA today, but I wanted to ask you. But I literally have a little what we now here on the Investing Bros, we call these T boxes now. I had a T box here at 30,400, give or take, to about 30,460. That is kind of my hey. I'm kind of still bearish until we break that level. If we break that level, I'll change my mind. But for right now, I think that's strong resistance. So go back to his screen, T-Shirt now. Interesting. It looks like you have that exact same point.
Yeah. And it's really easy to spot if you slow down,
Yeah.
get on like the medium time frames, you just go, okay, this is, realistically what I need to see reclaimed. This is a big single print right here. So we know that that's going to fill really, really quickly once, you find acceptance into it. You just have to have this level. Now you do have a bearish pattern that is playing out into resistance right now. So I call it the medium time frame. That's 4 hour because it's still a swing trader, not quite a day trader, but you can get some pretty good plays off of it. So you have yet another shark playing out. So again, you've taken the lows. Now you're looking to potentially take the highs here at X into that 30,400 level. From a timing perspective, you still have plenty of time for this to play out. And it would basically be putting you somewhere in the 113% expansion and the 1618 expansion of B2C. So giving you that Fibonacci convergence, also kind of lining up really nicely with both horizontal volume profile resistance. Like there's a lot here. So this is a big inflection point. If it pushes through this and invalidates the pattern, I would be looking for this to run it back to the highs. Like I said, right around 31K. So that would be the trade I'd be after at that time. So in reality, if someone was like, oh man, I wish I would have shorted Bitcoin, if you get a confirmed like reversal out of this area, this is kind of the region of the chart you want to be looking to put on risk because your management can be just above the local high here. And you don't have to, have this super wide stop loss for it. Because if it does get through this area, it could just blow through up to here. It really could. So that is what it is. I haven't quite taken this short just yet. I took, where is it? I took the first one at 30,000 and like some change here. I caught in around 29 and some change, 29.9. And then wrote it down back into the Q3 pivot. And you can see that you're really just basing off of that in terms of like a daily. So until you get like a daily closure below this level, pretty much range bound, I mean, you're kind of just filling out this little range until it's not a range anymore. You're just trading this area of the chart. But if you find acceptance up here, you run it up. I mean, that's realistically it. That's all you can do. You can't fight it on the way up.
Very simple, very easy. Yeah, that is good stuff. Now, sticking on Bitcoin, I want to kind of ask you a question. Before we were live, before the live show, we were discussing this. Very clean distinction here. We joked before that you don't like the news, and you clarified. You laughed at that. You're like, I don't like fake news. For example, guys, fake news out there right now. There's a fake picture going around that the SEC is not going to try to appeal the XRP decision. For all we know, they're not going to. But if you guys are over on Twitter and you see that, that is a fake one. So those are the types of news stories that Mim does not like. He hates those fake stories. What I would ask you, and again, I think most people are in agreement here, but what are your thoughts about Bitcoin ETFs? Technically speaking, we have a decision that's supposed to come this Friday from Gary Gensler. He's very busy over the next couple of days about if he's going to accept the ARK Invest Bitcoin ETF. Do you believe he's going to go ahead and punt that until January? And then after that, how big of a deal do you actually, I haven't gotten to speak with you about ETFs. How big of a deal, in your opinion, are Bitcoin ETFs when they come? Because we did hear that it's a question of when, not if now. How big of a deal do you think that will be for Bitcoin? And where could you see Bitcoin going in the next bull market for its peak?
Yeah, so I don't get too much into the weeds in terms of like where I think the peak will be. I think the peak right now, I actually worked it up the other day. I'll have to find it in whichever one of my folders it's in. I believe it's in this one somewhere. But in terms of the chart, if you guys want to share my screen real quick, what I think of the ETF, I think it's just a series of really bullish events in Bitcoin's history, because this is the BLX, so all Bitcoin history. It's just up and to the right, and that pattern is going to continue, and it really just kind of confirms that, okay, this is the next step in getting us to push to some of those larger levels over time. And it makes me want to be exposed to the asset. That's realistically what it is, and I think it will eventually be good for all crypto. I do think that there's going to be a washout of a lot of these projects that aren't actually solving any real world problems. They're not actually bringing anything to the table, but they are raising money, and eventually that money does run out, in my opinion. So, but I think it's great for Bitcoin. I do think it could push it into the next bull market, even if he were to announce it. I don't necessarily see him just caving this Friday and being like, "All right, ETFs on." Like that'd be a pretty big 180. I imagine he's going to push it out. If I know anything about government, they're going to push it out. So take as long as they can. Unfortunately,
what's crazy though is and maybe you don't have to answer this. I'm kind of more asking this out loud. T-shirt, maybe you have a thought. Everyone's anticipating he's going to punt this decision. Everyone from us to every other content creator here, even Kathy Woods herself has said he's gonna delay this decision. Why hasn't he delayed it yet? Why is he waiting till the last second, do you think?
Delaying the delay.
Yeah.
Classic. This just because it's favorable. I mean, the SEC specifically, but most government, jobs, that there's an incentive to delay because there's usually no need for expediency unless you're talking about defense. But this is not defense, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid point. I'm just surprised that he it makes sense that he didn't do this like a month ago when he probably could have. But why is he actually going to wait until Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to put out a report that says we're punting?
Well, the other thing too is it kind of keeps like a weapon in your back pocket. If Bitcoin or any asset started to rally, he could pull that out and be like, no ETF, right? Or we're delaying the ETF. And just wait for the timing, right? We know Wall Street. We know, the establishment behind big finance loves to reserve their timing for optimal timing. So, it's just it's a strategy that works. You can't blame them. It's annoying, but hey, they're just doing what works and what their bosses showed them how to do before they were the bosses.
Well, let's do this. Let's keep moving on here, and we're going to segue here using Gary Gensler because he has more than one decision to make. The other decision he needs to make here within the next couple of days is whether or not he actually wants to appeal that XRP decision by Judge Torres. But speaking of XRP, I would love Mim for you to go to XRP chart and break down what you're seeing. I am seeing we just jumped up to 66 cents, so XRP is rallying, and I do believe if there's no prediction here, if there's no reversal on, appeal made, I think XRP could have a nice little rally. But what are you seeing on your charts, Mim, when it comes to the XRP?
Yeah, XRP was one that you guys know I've been a big fan of the chart for a while now. It did take a long time to play out, but you've got a very clean back test essentially. So your overall macro value area low comes in at about 58.6 cents. So it gives you a really clean, area to work off of, along with this quarter one low right here that you set in and was resistance for so long. So realistically, this was an area that if a person was excited about the news that came out for XRP, I think I put it out the day of. I was like, I'm not going to touch this again until it comes down into this region of the chart. I am still exposed to some leverage from lower positions that I had built, but I'll deleverage those back into spot XRP. And unless this area of the chart here at 54 and 58 cents is lost, I think it's going to put in a sizable range potentially here, and then we'll see what comes of it. Now, the overall target of this is still technically $1.09. That is, I've got it marked here as the VPOC. And so that's your overall volume point of control for this range. Also, I believe it used to be the time point of control, but that has shifted down to 47 cents with this large amount of price action here. If you go into the monthly chart, you'd see it. But so I'd still be looking for about $1.09. You've also got an untapped yearly pivot at $1 from a prior session. Those generally will get tapped again later and serve up some kind of support and resistance. So the opportunity to make another high on this run is there. What would get me excited is if it cleared these levels, right? 82.87 cents. That's a ways away from where we are now, but that is a very high time frame level that was on the chart. It was one of the last places I took profit, I think, was there in 87 cents. And if you can get above this on like a daily, for instance, that's when you're going to see that move up. But until then, range bound, I'd be looking for this to come back up and test these like last local daily highs here somewhere around 70.72 cents. And then we get to play the game. Can it, push through and then come back to this resistance? Maybe it puts in some kind of a structure. The only thing that would be damning, and I say this, is when XRP makes huge moves off of massive consolidations like this. Like here's another perfect example of it. Very, very identical, massive move up to a similar region of the chart, almost, about 80 cents, and then gives it all back. That doesn't mean it's going to zero. It's just this coin tends to pump real hard and then dump real hard, pump real hard, dump real hard. So it really does play with the emotions of people. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt also that they have a huge community and they're very fanatical about it. So it gets everybody's heartstrings going, and then it gets me trolling on Twitter a little bit. But I mean well. So.
Well, see, and here's the thing. Communities are fantastic. It's one of the things that I highly recommend whenever people are looking at cryptos to invest in long term. One of the biggest factors that needs to play into it is what is the community like. So XRP passes on that side of it, but I don't know if you've noticed this, Mim. Sometimes with these coins, and I'm going to include one of my favorites, if not my favorite crypto out there, Cardano. Cardano is a very, very emphatic, very emotional, very charged community. Guess what happens when you have communities like that? They're very easy. They're very easy to take advantage of their emotion and liquidate things. When they get really, really depressed and people start shorting things, it's really easy to liquidate those shorts and have a massive pump. I don't know if you guys see that. Not just XRP. Cardano does the same thing. It has these massive movements. Same thing. They get emotionally just very bullish. You have this massive run up, and then people control it and they manipulate it back down, liquidating longs. That is the one downside. Like I have found these coins like Cardano, XRP, I am very much about holding them long term. But it's very frustrating sometimes to trade them because of the unpredictable natures due to the fact that they have such excitable fans and excitable community. And again, I would put myself in the community, especially the Cardano community. I love Cardano. I want to see it do well. But I've kind of, at this point, decided I am no longer a Cardano trader. It's just too unpredictable. And XRP might be a similar kind of beast to try to ride too strongly with trading. Go ahead. What do you have thought on that?
I don't trade it too much. As far as XRP goes. So the very first XRP call I ever made was that move to 78 cents. I was looking for 86 back in that era. It was like 2020, but managed to get in around 25 cents, got out, got back in, rode it all the way back up to like $1.30 and then $1.80. Got out and then told everyone it was going 29 cents and I had to wait over a year to get it. So it's one of those things where if you guys are in a community, make sure that you've maybe got a little grasp of like charts or a plan and sit down and say, okay, I'm interested in XRP, but where does it make sense to buy it? Does it make sense to buy it at $1 or does it make sense to buy it at 50 cents, 40 cents, 30 cents, and kind of like layer my buys in, and that's kind of a basic DCA strategy. But you should really make sure, and I've seen some people doing it on Twitter now. Some guys that I met on back from the TikTok days, and they'll share their DCA, and they've got spreadsheets. And I'm like, okay, I'm buying this asset when it reaches here. This is how much of my capital, like percent wise, I'm willing to put into it, and it just kind of keeps yourself grounded. So there's nothing wrong with being in a community, but you've got to fight that FOMO somehow. In my opinion.
Crap. Oh my gosh. I don't know if this is real. Sorry. I am totally interrupting the stream, but one of my cannabis stocks, it looks like it legitimately went up 1,000%, 1,600%. How is that even possible?
Sorry. How high is
that? Is this real?
Are you using any of this stock as we're on this live stream right now, Tisha?
Yeah.
These guys must have gotten bought out by the Saudis or something. What the heck?
Oh my
it says it just dropped $15,000 in my account because of this. Sorry. Resume. I will look into this. It's got to be a glitch.
Yeah,
it's got to be a glitch.
I'll tell you what, Tisha. We'll circle back to that here towards the end of the show. Take some. If you need to take profit, go take profit.
Oh, I'm going to take some profit, homeboy.
Yeah, go take some profit on that one. Let's do some other coins. But Mim, I'm going to actually leave it up to you at this point. I want to see what are some other coins or trading opportunities that you've been taking advantage of recently that you're really excited about and think there's still more room to either the upside or downside with those investments. Uh-oh. What a great freeze frame, though.
Yeah. Uh-oh, Mim. Not Mim.
You know what it was, T-Shroom? You interrupt the stream with cannabis talk, and then
dude, I made but the thing that's like really freaking me out is like none of the other stocks are doing this. So this is like, it looks real. All it is a cannabis ETF. It's not even. My heart is pounding like a jackrabbit right now.
Hey, go while we're waiting for him maybe to reconnect. Go back to the double bro cam here, so we don't see just him pinching his nose here for the rest of the stream. You know what, T-Shirt? While we're waiting for him to come back, let's do it. Let's go ahead and entertain this thing. Go ahead and share your screen. What are we seeing here? What's this chart? Show us what this chart looks like.
Okay.
You said how much? 1,500%?
Yeah, 9. So okay, let me do this. I just want to be careful because I do have some. This is one of my accounts, and I don't want to give away too much about.
Yeah, we'll hide the
stuff. But all right. So it says.
Chart, yeah.
It says today's return 9,900%, which is 15 grand. So I want to just market sell it, but
yeah.
But could it go higher?
Oh my gosh. You're literally gonna give me anxiety if you continue.
All right, I'm gonna try it. Sell all. The other thing too is like I was down a lot on this, so if I sell it and I did it now. If I sell. If I sell, okay, I sold it. Let's see what happened.
You sold it.
If I sold it, it was a glitch.
I knew it. Yeah.
It was a glitch, and I definitely just took a loss. That sucks. I don't know how much of a loss
it didn't let you see the updated price before you hit sell?
That sucks. That is so... But it's still saying... Okay, so there's just a glitch on that ETF.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into it later.
JT Skinner, too soon. He just said, T-Shroom, congrats, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but it was on stream, so I have proof of it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it all. We all saw it here, but yeah, I mean, it did. That was something that sounded like it was a little too good to be true.
Hey,
yeah. Well, T-Shroom, do you want to get back into some crypto, or do you want to keep? Do you want to cry a little bit? Do you have any tissues?
Oh man, that was too much. No, that's all right. It's probably like a couple $100 loss, but
oh man,
it's just another day in the life of T-Shroom,
Yeah.
Let me see if Mem has reached out to me. Why don't you hop on the charts and see?
Yeah. I'll kind of pick up. Yeah. So like right now, I saw multiple people say, no 55 cents. Listen, Mim put it very, very well. We could see a spike back up on XRP price, back up to some of these highs. I think a level to keep an eye on for sure will be kind of coming back up here to around 73 cents. I think, oh, didn't get to make my T-box. I think I'm going to watch this area right in here, create a little T-box here. If we go above this level, I think you're starting to look at some of those prices he's talking about, getting a little bit higher here. But as long as we stay below, I mean, I'm in the same boat, guys, with Bitcoin right now. Again, it's not that I'm rooting against it necessarily. I still believe that August could close red, could go to the downside. Let's go up to the daily chart here. You guys will even see one of the things that I've talked about in the past, guys, is I've talked about when Julys are red, usually August are red, but I was even looking at this, a couple of these, you guys know I have a chart. I'm tracking this. Let's go back to last July. That was a red one that ended up sending us to the downside. Yeah, this is back in 2019. Look at what happened right here, guys. So I'm on the daily chart. July started red. It's going to be hard to see, but July was red. Let's see here. I guess I put that there as a July. July was somewhere down here. Oh, yeah, this is where he is. All right. So this is right here. June. Where did July start? July started right there, and it ended up closing all the way down here. All right. So July closed red. The beginning of August spiked back up, almost back to a previous high from a previous run right here back on July 9th. It rallied and then broke to the downside, ended up closing red. August closed red again, just like July. Yeah. Barely, but it still did it. And then September, of course, went on to be red, and then October, and then November was red. And I think we finally bottomed out in December, and before we had our first green month. What's my point here? Guys, look at this same movement here. Again, we hit a peak, we fall, we cannot set a new high, and then we keep moving the downside. Going back to where our current price level is, I think people need to temper expectations and excitement. We're not setting new highs. I mean, even though I have back on this chart, even though I have this T-box sitting here, in reality, it's one of those things. I think if we can't close above 31.2, if we can't get up here and we don't set a new high, more than likely we still have some room to the downside. But it will be interesting to watch. It will be interesting to see, do we have a green August for the first time in Bitcoin's history? Do we set a green August after a red July? Could be an interesting one to keep your eyes on. But back over to XRP.
Well, Mim's back on. Mim's.
I was going to say, let me know. Oh, let me finish this thought, and then T-Shirt, and then we're going to go back to Mim here.
Go for it.
Same thing here with XRP. Keep your eyes on what happens here as we approach back up towards 72, 73 cents. I do believe you could, just as Mim pointed out here a little bit ago, you get some of these rallies and volatility movements, but you still end up sending money back. I still believe I'm going to hold to it. It's going to be a long time before I give it up. I still think this box right here, 55 to 57 cents, is one that XRP needs to revisit. And I'm going to continue to hold on to that. And not just because we have 2 green days in a row on XRP doesn't mean you give up all of your predictions and give up what you see the larger time frame saying on the chart. But with that said, let's go back. Let's go back and see what Mim missed you there for a second. But, the cannabis story must have triggered something in the Kansas Wi-Fi and kicked you off or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's thunderstorming here, so there was a pretty loud thunder, but it sounded like lightning basically hit my neighbor's house. So knocked out power for a little bit, but back up.
What's even worse is T-Shroom's alarm was false. It turns out it was just a glitch, and he didn't make $15,000.
I thought I was going.
Man, I was excited for you, man.
I know.
Yeah. Thought I was about to have a really nice vacation this weekend. Still gonna have a nice vacation, but hey.
Yeah, dude, that would have been a nice vacation for sure. You'd have to share some with me, T-Shirt.
Yeah. The first thing I thought, I got to give some of this to Tim.
Exactly. That's as it should have been your first thought.
Oh yeah. How about that for an emotional decision? We had the emotional guru on here of how to minimize emotion in trading, and I'm just like, 9,000%, sell. So
I mean. That was a good call. But yeah, let's get back into it. I know we were talking XRP. I don't know if you have anything else on XRP. Oh no, we had finished XRP. No. We were moving into your favorite, another coin you had been looking at.
So you talked about Solana earlier. So the ones I've been trading recently was QNT, Matic, some Solana, and
make sure you reshare your screen, man.
Yeah. Let me get over to the Sol chart, and then we'll.
Which, by the way, while you're doing that, guys, we have over 130 people in chat right now. Thank you so much to everybody. Make sure to smash that like button. And if this is your first time, hit subscribe for everything crypto and cannabis fake outs. That's what this channel is built on. So if that's something you love, you found the right one. But yeah, let's go to Mim's channel. Let's go to Mim's screen and see what's happening over on Solana.
So Solana, I actually gave the target of 3261 on Solana in January on Sin City. And they were like, if this thing got out of hand, like where could it go? I was like, I mean, $32 is realistically where you're going to end up. So you put in, again, some harmonic patterns. And I really like these because they give you all the key highs and lows, the pivot points of market structure, so that you can do expansions and run fibs, or you can just run general support and resistance off of them. That's how I utilize them personally. So they give you some nice targets. So you had a reversal pattern coming in here off of like this, basically move back into like the local gold pocket, a little punch beneath it, and then you take off. What you want to do from here is you want to grab your, I think it's right here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this real quick so that I can just do it live. You just want to, now you're looking for a new trend. So we're just going from the low of the trend to the top, and then we're bringing it over to say, okay, if this trend were to continue, what would it look like with a perfect 100% move of a similar move? And that's how you get this little box right here. So that is the target of this pattern. And in that moment, you know that you've hit a perfect one-to-one extension. So your next goal is going to be, what is, is this an ABCD, or AKA just a channel? That's what you've got going on here. So this is a classic reversal pattern as well, giving you that one-to-one move. And then it allows you to get targets and go, okay, this B leg, which lines up with your quarter two low right here, very big inflection point, needs to be reclaimed. If so, we can start talking about maybe trying to run it up to $30, right? That's how you're going to utilize these. But until then, you're basically just pulling standard fibs and saying, okay, where would I like to go? And the overall target of a pattern like this on a reversal off the top is generally going to be the gold pocket, which shouldn't surprise anyone. So you're coming down into that region of the chart, potentially still, unless you can reclaim this and flip it to support and make, new market structure. But realistically, you'd be looking for a lower high here, and then potentially coming down into your 6-month pivot and your quarter one pivot from this year. So you've got good support from just the overall horizontal averages. And then you've also got the gold pocket there. And I believe that was July's value area low. So that's, where my alerts are at. And that's what I'm really looking to trade on, is see if we can't get down to this like $20 down to like 1856 range. And then that becomes pretty important support, because if it's lost, you'll fill in the 1548, in POC, but probably head all the way back down to like $13, $14. And this starts to look a little bit more damning. But no real reason to panic. Just trade what you see. So for me, this was a big area to start looking to get out of the positions or short potentially. But it was such a quick move. If you weren't ready for it, you probably weren't going to be able to short it. What was I going to? Oh, channel. So really quick tip on those. Anytime you see like a one-to-one like that, especially with the trend base, you just want to pull up a quick channel and say, okay, does this make sense? And yeah, you've got a really nice channel here. You can throw on your EQ if you want, and it starts to look really, really nice. And so that's kind of like the educational portion of it. I like to explain things if I can, but yeah, that's how this chart's really played out over the past few months. It's been a very simple chart. Now, if you get above $32, things do get interesting. I really just start looking at this as like an overall range right here. And I would say, you start have to kind of like targeting these like little local highs right here, right around like $40. And overall, I mean, I'm kind of a pessimist on this chart from a macro standpoint, because it just doesn't look good. But not many altcoin charts really look that great right now, so you can't really throw too much shade. But this thing, even if it rallies all the way to $65, this is not a new bull market trend. Like this is literally just a retrace when it came from 260 all the way down to where it is. So I'm not a huge Solana person because I don't get into the fundamentals of things too much. But even from that, and knowing their association with FTX, things like that, and they've had network issues in the past, I know they're probably still working on it. I know there's a lot of people, community, again, very, very passionate about Sol, the ones that are. They think it's the Ethereum killer. So there's been a lot of those, and generally all of those go to the wayside eventually. So it doesn't do anything for me from a long-term investing standpoint. Trading standpoint, though, the chart moves phenomenal. Love Sol on the local time frames here, like the daily and weekly.
To trade.
Very interesting. Yeah, no, it is. Solana's one of those projects. Again, long term, I just don't know if I really love what they're doing. I will say, and I'll make a fair argument for them. they've had a lot of bullishness recently, and what they've done is they've caught back up to be the same equivalency as Cardano, now down from all-time high. Both Cardano and Solana at this very moment are sitting 90% down from all-time high. So we will have to see as their communities kind of regroup. That's another big one we talked about earlier, community. Solana's in the process of rebuilding their community. That was a big blow, what happened with FTX. Not only was it the community, they lost a lot of devs. So they got to rebuild their dev team. They're rebuilding their community. Those in the Solana community are very passionate. It's just the numbers are not quite what they were during the last bull market. So the big question is going to be, do we see more people go back there into Solana? And for all we know, they will. At this point, I'm not making a firm prediction. I'm interested in what you think, Mim, but I don't believe, my personal thought, I don't think that Solana will hit a new all-time high, but I very much could be wrong on that. What are your thoughts?
I don't think they'll ever see all-time high again, to be quite upfront with you. From what I understand, there was quite a bit of, I wouldn't call it manipulation, but, some tinkering that was done to get them to that from, FTX and some of the research. So I don't necessarily see it unless they change the tokenomics a little bit. That's always something these chains are doing, is sometimes they'll burn and do whatever. Maybe that's something in their future. I don't know. But yeah, all-time high, probably not at its current status. So
yeah, it's kind of a hard one. Tishan, what do you think? What are your thoughts about, does Solana hit new all-time high?
I don't think so. I think that there's so many other great projects out there. AVAX comes to mind. That's underbought. There's so many projects that are underbought, right? Why would I put my money into Solana? And there's some people who are going to have a good reason for that. Maybe they've got an NFT on the chain. Maybe they're deep into a DeFi ecosystem that's on Solana, right? So there definitely will be some people who have that disproportionate incentive to go Solana, right, with their DCA money. But the thing is that there's just so many other options, and there's still Ethereum and Cardano like hanging around, right? And Bitcoin for that matter, and Binance, right? There's still some, 500-pound gorillas in the room to still go, bet as a sure, quote unquote, sure thing, not financial advice. But looking at Solana, it's like, well, how are they different? Oh, they're fast. Oh, well, Atom's fast. Cardano's pretty fast too. Ethereum's getting faster. Yeah, I'm not going to compare Ethereum speed to Solana's speed, but you get the picture. There's plenty of other chains out there now that are kind of batting at that same speed. So it's like, that was Solana's big thing, other than their phone, which, where's the phone? I was throwing in bones with that phone. I was like, look, man, this phone, if it comes out, it could be very big. Don't sleep on the phone, but they couldn't ship it. So
my thing is I don't have a problem with people investing in Solana. It's one of those things where but you have to kind of have grounded, rules that I need to be exposed to the blue chips like Bitcoin, Ethereum, these top coins that are going to perform cycle after cycle, because altcoins traditionally, once they have their cycle, it's not like we don't have any data to say they're going to have another one. And this last cycle proved that a little bit. And you can't go off of just one, data point, but it's kind of how it looks, especially in a competitive market, as you said. Like, that's a big, big market. It seems like every other, week for a while there, it was a new competitor that was hyped up, was gaining traction and had a new product. So excited to see the space evolve. I mean, for sure. Just make sure that you're not, eggs in one basket and lose your life savings on like a equivalent of a penny stock.
I'll never forget. It was Thanksgiving. I think we had just gotten hired over at Crypto Jeb. It was around Thanksgiving. And of course, we were talking about this Thanksgiving effect, right? Which is probably going to happen this year too. We'll probably talk about that narrative as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When people go home, all the college students go home, and a couple of their buddies have made money in crypto. They're invested in crypto, and they tell their uncles who have actual money, hey, and aunts, hey, crypto exists. And then there's an attempt to make an orange pill. So I did that Thanksgiving with my uncle. Maybe he's watching. I highly doubt he's watching. But he bought Solana. And at the time, I was like, it wasn't like that bad. There had already been an outage or two. But he was totally won over by the speed. And this is a really smart guy. Like, he's been fantastically successful in real estate. And so, but it's like, it's so unfortunate because he could have bought so many different things. Bitcoin would have probably been the best, right? But people take a look at Bitcoin. And this is why altcoins get so much attention, because they look at Bitcoin and they're like, oh, well, it's slower, or you can't really do smart contracts or NFTs with it.
And it costs, an arm and a leg to get one.
They have some reason not to just go ahead and buy Bitcoin or Ethereum and go ahead and get one of the newer ones. And it's like, okay, there's nothing wrong with diversifying and getting into lower altcoins. But if you don't already own Bitcoin or Ethereum, you're not really doing it right. So
there's a misconception with investing, because I don't trade everything that I own. Like, a lot of my portfolio is off exchange. Like, literally 80 to 90% of my capital never sees trading at times, you know? So people want that. They think that the only way to get rich or to make life-changing money is to either be early or, get lucky, basically. And so everyone's trying to be early. So when they see something like Solana, they're like, oh, well, the potential of this versus the potential of Bitcoin is how they're looking at it, from just like a scalable price,
100%.
So when they see that, I think that they fail to realize that what's going to get you where you want to be isn't going to be overnight in most cases. There are going to be some people that make overnight money, especially in crypto. It happens. But consistency, that's it. That's kind of the key to a lot of life. Consistency in terms of like value investing. And you can still take some of those risks on Solana and things like that. You just can't make your entire strategy, basically home runs. It's not going to pan out very well in the long run, So that's really it.
You're right. It's like, statistically, aliens are real, right? That there's other life forms out there in the universe. Statistically, it's almost impossible that there aren't, with how big the universe is. So statistically, there's going to be overnight successes in crypto too. But are you wanting to bet on aliens? Like, is that what you're doing, or are you investing in things you believe in that have proven value?
Well, guys, speaking of things that we believe in, we have a story we want to talk about. I want to get your guys' take on this. Breaking news this morning, guys. Algorand is going to solve climate change with none other than Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
You go ahead and share my screen, T-shirt. I'm stealing your job today. I'm gonna read the articles. I don't know if you guys saw this. Algorand partnering with the Clinton Foundation to combat climate change. A couple of things that are interesting here. Clinton Foundation, known for its global philanthropy efforts. They're really helping clean up the planet by getting rid of one person. Has found an ally with Algorand by joining forces. They hope to leverage blockchain technology to find solutions for climate change. Interesting, Hey, Clinton's using crypto. Interesting. It's really, this part was the one that got me, though. This partnership is a significant milestone, not only for Algorand and the Clinton Foundation, but also for the broader crypto community. It highlights the growing realization that blockchain and cryptocurrencies can play a vital role in social and environmental causes. Let's go back to BroCam here, T-Shroom. Question for Mim and T-Shroom. Is this actually going to be utilized to combat any type of climate change, or is this just another way for the Clinton Foundation to make some money using cryptocurrency? And what do we think? Like, do we think this is net positive for Algo? Do we think it's net negative? What are your thoughts about this when you first heard this story, Mim?
So I kind of read the same article you did, actually. I Googled it and just pulled it up. So I was curious. We talked about it backstage a little bit. And they said it's a unique opportunity to create transparent and efficient systems. And I will tell you right now that transparency is not something that you usually get out of like government foundations or like, political foundations in general. So I would be surprised if that's what it's actually used for. But if it is, and it does bring that aspect, I would love to see this not just go to like social causes like this, but like voting, things like that. Why aren't we doing this on the blockchain? It's so easy, so maybe one day we will see stuff like that. But yeah, I guess. I mean, am I bullish on Algorand for it? Not really. It doesn't make any difference to me, but is what it is.
Why? Yeah. On that note,
what are your thoughts?
Quick tangent. It's like, why? I feel like Wyoming, with how progressive they are into crypto, what if they were just to hold a state's vote? Because I'm pretty sure the states are allowed to use whatever mechanisms to vote that they want. Like, they could just do a paper vote if they wanted to. I wonder how far away, or if anybody's lobbying for that in Wyoming. So let's do it on AVAX. Let's do it on Bitcoin. Let's.
It wouldn't surprise me. It'd be cool to get a state to do it. That's a good point. Maybe we should write the governor of Wyoming and the senators.
I know a resident of Wyoming, but so my take on this is, how dare you, Tim and Mim? How dare you question the hard work that the Clintons have put in for this country? They have done nothing but help and try to facilitate growth. And look, the planet's heating up, guys. Okay, and they're trying to do something about it, and you're just slinging mud at them when they're trying to do something. And Algorand trying to get in there and just help and be of assistance. They don't want anything in return. They're just there because they're trying to do the right thing.
No, it could be interesting. A super chat we just got from Piper said Crypto Lifer just sold all of his algo 30 minutes ago. So clearly Lifer is not a fan. And I will say, I kind of see this, and I might be stretching this. But this is fresh, and I got to continue to think through these things, and let's see how this develops.
Puts on Solana.
A couple things that when I saw this story that kind of came to mind. First of all, Algo is definitely, it's one of those ISO 20022 tokens or whatever. Definitely kind of siding with more mainstream ideas like climate change and the massive effect that needs to go into solving it. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't believe that climate change exists. I do think that there are things that we as humans probably need to start doing a better job of, take care of the planet, that I do believe God gave us. However, I think that the efforts that have gone into it and the kind of devaluing of the human value that people take when they go into these conversations with climate change, that's the big red flag for me. I don't care about the fact that people want to save the planet. It's like we get to a place where a lot of these people want to save the planet at the expense of humans and at human lives. And that's where I do believe there's a problem. Now, my other thought here is, what is the biggest threat right now to future adoption of Bitcoin? Because it's not the SEC. The SEC has already said we're going to pretty much go after every other crypto other than Bitcoin, trying to call it a security. Maybe they lost to XRP. We're going to have to find out officially, here on Friday, when, or I guess Monday. We won't know until Saturday morning whether or not they try to appeal or not before the deadline. But my point here is that they know they can't go after Bitcoin as a security, but what is the last real weapon people have against Bitcoin? They can say that the mining of Bitcoin is bad for the environment. So when you see crypto kind of get into this boat with the Clintons and with other people who have very ulterior motives, but in reality what they want to do is keep power, keep control, I just have to sit here and question and wonder, will this potentially pit Algo as something that is going to be a threat to Bitcoin long term? Again, will this aid and kind of bring people into the crypto space and say, we need more cryptos like Algo, get rid of the bad ones like Bitcoin and Litecoin and anything that mines and could hurt this planet, we need to get rid of them completely? That's my first thought when I saw this article. I was like, I think this is a big move for Algo that could, I don't know, if that's their plan, if they want to attach themselves to people like the Clintons and that's their success story, go for it. There's a lot of people in this world who really, really believe heavily in fighting against climate change and throwing every dollar they can against it. And maybe they fall in love with Algo. But I can tell you right now, the normal crypto enthusiast like Lifer is going to see this stuff and see this as a real threat to what we're building in the crypto space. So I'm interested to see. I'm also interested to hear what AJ has to say. Obviously, everyone knows here at Hit Network, AJ is the local Algo lover. I want to hear what he thinks about this. But to me, let's continue to see how this develops. Let's continue to see how the stories play out. But I'm going to be surprised if this doesn't end up having some form of a bite back at Bitcoin's climate issue in the eyes of the public.
I just looked at the chart, and I can tell you it's definitely no threat to Bitcoin as of right now. Just based on that, I would say the Clintons may have killed this chart, actually.
Oh, my goodness.
So, couldn't help myself.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely something to pay attention to as we continue to watch this out. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and end the show early a little bit today, guys. 9:58, which is almost 10 o'clock. But I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Mim for coming on and dropping some amazing TA today. Again, really, really good stuff on those charts. Keep your eyes on some of those levels. He said, go back and watch some of those levels so that you can continue to keep yourself emotionally at bay so you don't fall into any FOMO or any fudding that's going to ruin your portfolio. When you can master that ability to just take emotions out of it and to think clearly and not be attached to a bullish or bearish scenario, that's how you actually make money. So, Mim, thank you so much. Make sure you guys go follow him on Twitter. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. Both of those are growing fast, and
links
you guys
are in the
want to definitely be a
description.
part of that. Yep, links in description.
Awesome.
With that
Thank
said,
you
though, guys, that's all.
it.
Yeah. With that said, guys, all I have for you guys today. We'll see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. And tonight, X Spaces, 7 p.m. on Investing Bros Twitter channel. Definitely come be a part of that. With that said, though, you guys have a fantastic day.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got your word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Tryna make paper. Turn that better than cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots like bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.